Hey everybody, I'm Sean, and if you're new here, welcome. And in this video, I'm going to talk about everything that I read in the first quarter of the year and all my thoughts on that, and then what I hope to accomplish in the second quarter of the year. I'm going to be doing videos via quarters instead of monthly. Just it's a little bit easier for me to keep track that way, and hopefully easier for you to tune in, I suppose. Let's get into it. How was my first quarter? It wasn't too bad. I read total 23 books, including the comic books, right? I read 14 comic books, and that was The Amazing Spider-Man 7 through 20. And I have a video talking about that, or well, talking about 1 through 20, and I'll leave a link somewhere here. Still new to this, if it even lets me do that. The books that I read this quarter, first book that I read was The Tethered Mage by Melissa Caruso. It's the first book in the Sword and Fire series. And I think it was a good solid start to the series. You follow Amalia Cornaro, and she's the daughter of one of the most prominent political figures in that city and within that empire. She is also the heir to one of those seats on the Council of the Nine. The Council of Nine is pretty much they're political figures within the Riveran Empire or Serene Empire. Typically, as the heir of that political seat, she's not supposed to become a falconer, and she accidentally becomes one when she puts a Jess onto a mage. And what a Jess is, it's typically a bracelet that locks in those powers or those magic powers and controls them. That whether or not allows them to release their powers or stops them from using them. Basically, it's a chain, right? Zara, I think that's how you say it. She is the mage that Amalia actually traps. I don't say traps it bad. Restrains is the proper word. That was something she never wanted. She actually was hiding her entire life. They're about the same age. 16, 17 years old. We follow these two throughout the book as they navigate what this means for them as individuals as well as them as a duo and a team. Along the way, they're also dealing with these political dealings with potential wars brewing within the neighboring land, the Vaskander. My overall thoughts is I really enjoyed this one. Thought it was pretty fast paced. I think I would give it a good 3.75 stars. I plan on finishing the series. Next up, we have the Animorphs book 2 through 7. I read the first one back in December of 2025, and I decided to restart and reread this series just because I remember really liking it from when I was a kid, and I just wanted to see how the series actually ended up because I never finished it. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. So my plan is to finish this series this year. It's a total of 54 books. I'm already 1 through 7. I started 8 and I need to finish it. I really enjoyed all of these. They're such easy reads and they're fast. Like you can finish 1 to 2 in a day. I don't have physical copies yet. I've just been checking out the ebooks and the audios from the library. And I'd like to do a more in-depth video on this series as a whole, or like in different sections. If that's something you guys would be interested in, please leave a comment down below and let me know. That'd be great. Another book that I finished this quarter was Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I always say it wrong. And let's be honest, it took me a while to finish this book, but not because it wasn't good. It is actually a wonderful book and I really loved it. It's just a long book, and it's one of those books where you want to take your time with and really absorb everything that you're reading, that all these characters are going through. I started to read it because a friend of mine really loved it and I had some FOMO, so I wanted to see what was going on. But seriously though, McMurtry really makes you feel some type of way for these characters, whether it was hate, love, or even indifference. You follow two former Rangers, Augustus McCrae, my favorite, and Woodrow Call, as they make their way to Montana on a cattle drive. Now I know, it sounds boring, but really, it's wonderfully written. It really makes you think about the beauty of life, all that it entails, the hardships. It's a good, steady, down to earth read. That makes sense. And it's a Western, which is completely out of my normal genre. This was easy, 5 stars for me. The next book, the final book that I've read in this quarter was the Sunbear Trials by Aiden Thomas. This was such a fun read. You follow Teo. He's a 17-year-old demigod to a lesser god known as Jade, and he's chosen to participate in these trials to become the Sun Bearer. There's this whole thing about being the Sun Bearer, and I won't get into it because spoilers, but it is rare for a Jade to be chosen for this, as golds, which are the higher gods, typically are always training for these trials. Think Hunger Games, but with less killing. Does that make sense? This has trans and BIPOC representation, and I'm here for it. Easy, 5 stars. Now my plans for the second quarter, it's kind of all over the place, to be honest. I have started quite a few books, but I have paused them almost all of them, but not for lack of them not being good, but mostly because it's a me thing, and I'm just really bad at starting and finishing. I like to start a lot of books and then I'll finish them. Who knows when I'll finish them? The books that I've started are All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. I really am enjoying this one. I started it for the trans rights readathon, but I'm really bad at doing readathons, so I don't know why I try every year. Can't help it. Also started Crueler Mercies by Maren Chase. Excuse the bookmark. Crueler Mercies by Maren Chase. This one's pretty interesting so far. I'm not very far into it because I start and I never finish. I also started Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe. I don't want to say that wrong. If I say that wrong, I'm sorry. This one's pretty interesting because it's talking about the trans experience that they went through, and it's a graphic novel, so I like that. I've also started Spider-Man Darkest Hours Omnibus. It has different authors: Jim Butcher, Keith R.A. Tecanadito. Oh, I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry if I butchered that. And Christopher L. Bennett. I think I mentioned this in one of our previous videos that I was reading this, and I'm actually enjoying it quite a lot. Final book that I started earlier this year was Velocity Weapon by Megan O'Keefe. This one's a lot of fun. I'm actually halfway through it. I had originally paused these to do the Trans Rights Readathon, and then I got halfway through these two books, and I don't know what happened. I think I just kind of mood readed, being mood reader. Sometimes I'm that, sometimes I'm not. So my plan is to finish all of those, I think, as well as continue on with my Spider-Man comics read. I've also started The Fellowship of the Ring. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm about 250 pages, and I'm having fun. I'm actually really enjoying it, and I'm going back and forth between the physical and the audio with Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis, they did good things when they decided to have him narrate the series. So I will be continuing that. Hopefully I'll finish the entire series this quarter. It's quite a feat, I think, but I've got 3 months, right? I'm not putting on any timeline for me to finish those, just hopefully within the next 3 months. Luckily, some of these I'm already halfway through, so we'll go from there. So those are my first quarter reads and my second quarter hopefuls / plans. What are your thoughts on this list? Have you read any of them? If you have, please, I'd like to hear it. Let me know down below. And as always, please like and subscribe. If you're feeling generous, please hit that notification button. I hope you have a good day. Bye.